Grr. Put my chat window always on top. Control space. Mother flower. Okay. Let's do this the dummy way. Really? Try this again. Get the script, they say. It'll make it easy to make the window always on top, they say. Hello.
Do you have the screen cable for this? You took it?
Yep.
Okay.
Thanks.
Here's a little screws for it. I wanted to be absolutely certain I didn't long screw it, so.
You didn't long screw it.
No,
You're also live.
one of the other ones I did.
I think it's time to give up on the chat window being always on top. Oh, screw it. Oh, here we go. Eh? Eh? No. Okay, what if we just... All right, so I'm just not going to be reading chat today, I suppose. That will be... Oh, here we go. Bam, always on top. Finally. Why can't Windows just build this into the OS? XFCE has had this shit for 15 fucking years already. All right, so today we're going to be going over trying to fix a board that does not have schematics. This here is an 820-00840-01. This goes into which? The A1708 or A1706? You have the screen cable? Lovely, that's a screen cable, because... All right. Now, this has no schematic or board view, as you can find if you look online. However, we did find corrosion localized to one specific circuit. The problem is that we have no idea what that's for because there's no schematic and no board view. So I'm going to walk you through how it is we're going to try to figure out what that circuit is for, and then we're going to try to fix it. And it may completely fail because I don't have parts for this machine, I don't have schematics, board views, anything, really. So let's see, let's just try to get an idea of how we figure out what the problem is. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the area that has the corrosion by really always on top.
1708.
This is the funny thing. If you use that always on top script, sometimes it doesn't work, but then when it finally does work, it kills your keyboard. See, now I kill always on top and I can do this. Here we go. That is such a... Windows is such a clusterfuck. Why do I use Windows? Okay, so if we look over here, you'll see that there is a corroded section. There's a resistor that looks a little bit chewed off over here, right down there. Now you'll see that if I try to Google what the chip says, what's up, Jessa? How's it going? She says, hello, ... friend.
Oh, no.
Hey, Jessa, how's it going? Paul and I say hi. Paul, say hi. That's Paul waving and saying hi with a nice big happy smiley on his face. So if we go back... So if we... Oh, they changed the interface, so I just deleted somebody's message without even realizing it. Great job, Google, at notifying people when you change things. Wow, what's that noise? What's that? Oh, it sounds like Christmas cheer. Sounds like reindeer on their way. Anyway. Someone says, thank you for inspiring me to get off my ass and turn on my resume and cover letter at an IT consulting in my area. Well, go for it. At least I'm a minor and still dependent on my mom. Well, the sooner you're not dependent, the better. So, back to our regularly scheduled programming. Now, this resistor over here is clearly messed up. So the way you can tell that it's messed up is that a happy resistor that's happily resisting, you know, like something like this that's doing a good job of resisting, like not too much, just a regular amount of resisting, is going to look like this. See? Like this. You're going to see a nice shiny metal edge. But when something is resisting a little too much, like Cards for Humanity or the Washington Post, you're going to see that it has this white look to it. It's going to look like there's, you know, this, it's going to kind of look this styrofoamish color, kind of like that cheap plastic that you find inside kids' toys. So the metal is completely gone away, and what you have in its place is this. And at that point, the resistor will typically be known to be resisting too much, like the level that you would see in Cards for Humanity. So we're going to go back and check this out and see what we get on the multimeter for resistance there. Let's just get the multimeter on the table. Looks like closing always on top froze my chat window. Great job, always on top. Lovely little piece of software here. And I should, yeah, my computer is so damn confused at this point. My computer is so confused. All right, we'll do this. Try one more time to make this always on top. Okay, here we go. So we got a chat window. So we're going to put the multimeter into resistance mode and measure the resistance of the resistor. And making the chat always on top has killed my keyboard again. This is a really good sell for Linux here. Yes, if you'd like to say I should get Linux, I get it. I get it, you trolls. I know XFCE had this stuff since probably before I was born. So we measure the resistance, and it looks like we're getting 6.7 mega ohms. That is probably not what this is supposed to be. It's probably dead. So the first thing that I would do in a situation like this is take a look at the top of the chip and see what it says. Because sometimes, on rare occasion, it'll actually be helpful. And it'll tell you the number of it so that you can Google it. So let's just show you what happens if we were to Google this and go from there. So I am going to switch over to the web browser. Let's see if I can switch over to the web browser. We're going to insert the number here. Okay, switching over to the web browser requires a keyboard sheet. Actually, I got to close always on top so I can use my keyboard again. This fucking script. What a piece in a pile. Okay, so we're going to switch over to the web browser there, and we're going to search for that chip. So that's 48B1-04. And what we get when we search for that is hanky-panky signature lace garter belt daywear. Do you think that has anything to do with it, Paul?
I doubt it.
Hello.
No, that's not it.
So you don't think this has anything to do with my circuit?
No, but she's loading.
She is loading. She's loading fairly slowly. $45 for this shit? Seriously? $45 for a fucking belt. Wow. Ooh, extra 15% off. Okay. What does that bring it down to, like $38, $37?
For Macy's.
This is a bit... I don't get it with the whole boniness thing. Like, I can see the bones in your chest, girl. I kind of like... What's going on with this? It's like... I want to buy you a sandwich, but not on a date. It's like, this is not healthy. Anyway, speaking of not healthy, let's... Body positive. All right. So if we scroll down, we'll see that there is also a link to a backlight chip, which may lead me to believe that this is a backlight circuit. So if this is a backlight circuit, well, what other evidence would we have just in case we got stuck at hanky-panky? So let's say that somebody got stuck at the hanky-panky picture and did some hanky-panky and then continue Googling. What's another way that you could tell that this is most likely a backlight circuit if I zoom out and I put the whole area in context for you? Watching on XFCE says, Guliam, I'm jealous. You have a superior interface. Paul says, be prepared to not eat anything that iPad Rehab gifts you. She's probably created some CRISPR-modified viruses to turn you into a fascinating womanhood stereotype as fair retaliation. What happened to your quick fix using Weller again? Well, the thing is that nobody wants to use the Weller, so I got stuck with the Weller. Paul gets the JBC, Jason gets the quick, and I get the shit. Pretty much. All right, so how else could we tell that this is a backlight circuit? Do we have any good comments? Anything at all? Anything even remotely related to... Looks like a boost converter of some sort. Very good. Very good. All right, so if we were to go over to the schematic here, let's just get my PDF reader going, make it full screen for you. Now we're going to take a look at the schematic for an older machine for a few years ago. This is the 2015 Retina, which the 8204924 board. Now a DC to DC boost circuit is typically going to start where you have a lower voltage, like 12.6 volts. That's what this alias is for. It's listed in the power aliases page. If you wonder, how do I know that that's 12 volts when it says PP, Vin, SO, Sys, whatever, it's in page 66. Now that is going to go through here, and this is a coil. Now, this transistor here is going to short the voltage from the coil to ground. So this backlight driver, this chip, which hint is most likely this, is going to do that. Now, I might as well just put a little bit of a microscope view in the corner there just to make it easy for you to see. Let me get a video capture device, get my microscope, and make it small and put you in the corner. So this chip over here is most likely this. Now, as you move onward, you'll see that there is a coil. This transistor, which I'm going to take a wild guess is this, because it is directly connected to pin 2 of this, which is a coil, is going to short to ground through the LED driver. So the LED driver is going to control this transistor and the LED driver is going to tell this transistor to short to ground. Now that's going to make the coil rage. At some point, it's going to rage as hard as someone that didn't get their bent nozzles yet, and it is going to send out something along the lines of 30 to 50 volts, depending on the user set brightness. And you'll also see that there's a bunch of capacitors in the area right by, and you can see that there's a row right under here. So if you look at the way this is laid out, the coil is going to go feed the diode. There's going to be this transistor in between the coil and the diode that goes to the LED driver that then goes to ground. So we can kind of figure out what's going on here. Now also, you'll see that there's a little dot over here on there's a dot on the chip, and the dot on the chip is going to be where pin 1 is. So if I assume that this is pin 1, and we have about 6 pins per side, then the pin that is corroded that this is attaching to over here is going to be pin 21. So let's see what's connected to pin 21. Pin 21 is LCD backlight feedback. So this is where the chip is going to want to see, hey, what am I creating? Remember, any of these boost circuits, they're not going to boost if it can't see what it's creating on output. Go.
Sorry.
Why do you? How dare you use the bathroom? Anyway, you like the new door?
I do.
Yeah? Quality? Privacy? The 2936 is watching you. Sandy Bridge MCP. So the way that this is going to work is if I'm, let's say I'm driving and I'm trying to make my car go faster. I'm not going to make my car go faster. I'm not going to drive if I can't see out the windshield so I can see where I'm going. Am I going too fast? Are there people in front of me? And so on and so forth. The boost circuit that makes 12 volts in a 30 or 40 is not going to do boosting if it can't see what it's creating. What if it's creating 50 or 90 or 1,000 or a million volts and it's destroying something? We can't have that. So the way that we control this is with feedback. So this little feedback line over here is going to go between output and the chip so that the chip can see what it's doing. And here, it doesn't look like we have a direct feedback line. Here, I'm guessing what the case is that this chip cannot handle the voltage. It cannot handle the truth. So it needs to have this voltage divider here to lower the voltage before it goes back to the chip, because if we were to actually send backlight voltage to the chip, something bad would happen. So this is backlight feedback, and over here on the older circuit, we can see R7731, which is sitting between backlight output and the chip. And then we have R7732, which is between the chip and ground. So let's see if we have a similar pattern going on here. So if we look at these resistors, I'm this close to dropping $270 on a Keysight multimeter so I can have it on screen. I'm mentally preparing myself for it. And we're going to get there. It's like a mental preparation thing. It's like knowing that I paid that much for a little black and white thing that measures voltage. So if we look, we have backlight output over here, because these are those caps, and this resistor, and then that resistor going here. So that would most likely be, that would be the 13.3 kilo ohm one. And then we have another resistor over here. This over here would most likely be, this is sitting between, I'm guessing this is ground. Let's see. Let's see if my multimeter beeps. So when I do this, do we beep? Okay, it does. So this is ground, and that's between the feedback pin and ground. So this, if I'm correct, and if they're reusing the circuit from the older retina, would be a 150 kilo ohm resistor. Huh. Thank you to Jared Springer for the kind $2. It says, I'm a plumber. We both have shitty jobs. No, I think yours is probably shittier than mine, since you have to go through actual shit, at least before it's been cleaned off and gone away. So if I'm correct here, this resistor right here should measure 150 kilo ohms, and it measures 144. Of course, it's going to measure a little bit lower because we haven't taken it out of the circuit. So this most likely is a blown resistor for backlight feedback. Now, it would also lead me to question whether or not the backlight fuse is good. So I would try to see if F7700 is in this area. Let's see if F7700 is anywhere around to be found. Now, do keep in mind, we cannot use the board view because this board looks so entirely different that there would be no point whatsoever. Everything on this board is laid out differently. We would have to figure this out from scratch. So, if you look on the other side of the board, you'll see something else that looks familiar here. You'll see that there is Q7700, which sits between a current sensing resistor and then the fuse. So the fuse is going to deliver power to the current sensing resistor. The current sensing resistor is then going to pass power over to the transistor, which then passes it onto the coil. Now, the whole point of the current sensing resistor is to say, hey, if there's a really big difference in the voltage between the beginning and the end, shut the circuit off. That means because the voltage drop across this resistor is going to be proportional to the amount of power that the circuit is using. So this, I can safely assume, is the fuse right over here, because this has P, which it means, you know, I guess pews in Apple's world. So that's going to go from here. This is the current sensing resistor. And then this is the transistor. So let's see if that fuse is good. Probably is. It's never the fuse. The fuse never blows. The circuit blows. The cable blows. The entire, you know, everything else blows, but never the fuse. Because, you know, for the fuse to blow, that would mean that if the fuse were to blow and there was a problem, that would mean that there was something that was reasonably repairable. No, Apple ain't about that one bit. So let's just wait a bit. I've got my ONB35 coming, and I'll write up the software for OBS. Might work out as a good solution. Paul, what can I pay to expedite that? Let's see. ONB35. That is a $54 multimeter. Paul? Okay, Paul, this is one of those areas where, you know, I'm a capitalist. Give me a price. What would it cost to expedite that? Because I'm dying here with this thing on stream. I miss having the multimeter show up on stream. So what I'm going to take, since the fuse is good, I'm going to take a guess that backlight is not working due to blown feedback. And I could probably knock that resistor right off the board. Okay, maybe not. I haven't been lifting as much at the gym recently. Ah, there we go. Took a little longer than I wanted. So we're going to replace that. And Paul's going to reassemble this because fuck if I remember how to. And then we're going to see if it has a light in the screen. And Paul, who has extensive experience reassembling the newest, most confusing model Mac computers, is going to put it back together in one shot, no tripping, no confusion, and get it right in the first try, and it's just going to work because that's how he does. Paul says, fucking hell, just about kicked a customer off my porch, rang the doorbell at 10:27, right next to a sign that said, do not ring the doorbell outside of 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., and they tried lighting up a joint. Huh. Paul, are you sure you don't live in New York? Because you told me you live in Australia, but I don't know, it doesn't sound like... I don't know much about Australia, but it sounds more like here. So we're going to repeal and replace this resistor that is resisting too much with another one. And I'm trying to remove the resistor with my soldering iron because I don't want to wait for my welder to heat up. I've gotten spoiled by the quick, and now I'm a sad panda because I'm back to this Weller WHA900 that looks like it's from 1987. So we're just going to get some solder on those pads, clean off the excess. Mwah. And we're going to find ourselves that resistor on a donor board. So let's find a 4924 that actually has a backlight circuit. Easier said than done. Hey, what do you know? First try. Ah, it's missing them. Who am I kidding? Of course it's missing. And we have another one. And yeah, this one has some resistors on it. Hopefully these resist the regular amount. What happened to schematics? They don't have them. They're not released for this yet, so I have to guess. Not much I can do. I can either try with what I have, or I can be a sad panda. I don't want to be a sad panda. So let's see. Let's try and find that on here. I need to find R7731. And that's going to be right here. Alrighty. Crap. My flux tube has been exploding flux lately. That's way too much flux, even for me. Okay. Let's clean off my finger. I wear gloves, but I try to keep track of where the flux is on my glove. Because I don't want to get flux on my tools and the desk and the multimeter probes and all that. Because even if you got gloves on, you're gonna touch that stuff later. So I try to keep my hands relatively clean. Okay. How's it going, Tarman? Okay, so let's grab a resistor and put it there. Buy a burrito or multimeter, whichever you need more, says DeBurin Soda. Huh, maybe I will. So why didn't I hear that or see that come up on the screen? Uh-oh. I hope this system is working, where it makes stuff show up on the screen. Short to ground. Someone says, are you looking for me? Not today, I'm afraid. I don't believe that we have a short to ground problem, but thanks for asking, bro. Refuses to keep the major fuck-up away. Minor fuck-ups are allowed as long as they don't create a major fuck-up like a house fire. We reserve that for the Note 7. P stands for polyfuse. Well, perhaps that could be true. Are Streamlabs working? That is a good question. Let's log in and see. There's no better time to do that than when you're desoldering a 0402 package. All right, let's see what we got here. Hi, Lewis. Finally got to watch a live stream. There's no work today. Here is €5. Wait, no, pounds. Fuck, I got that wrong. Treat yourself. I'm sorry. I keep messing up what a pound versus a euro is. Like, I know that there's the one that has the pound is the one that has the one cross, and the euro is the one that has the two crosses. And that seems to actually really rattle people, so I should get better at that. Don't call the wrong one the wrong one. That's widgets. All right, so that didn't show. What else did I have here? Thank you to Cyborg Delta 1. All right. Stop resisting, someone says. I'd sort of use one my power supply at home as a feature like that. With 10-bit ADC. I would be excited to have a multimeter on screen again. You know, it would help if I put the hot air station from 500 Fahrenheit to 9. Duh. R7731 can be replaced with a used toothpick if needed. Incorrect. I will not do that. No. Why not build a multimeter with a 16-bit ADC and USB output? Easily done with a good enough accuracy at that rate. If it's easy, then how about I pay you to do it for me? So that I can... Yeah. Do you want to do it? I'll pay you. Name your price. I'll pay you. I'll even endorse your product. You'll get a free endorsement. Now you got another resistor over there that looks kind of shitty in the corner. So I'm going to give this area a bit of a reflow, because that looks shitty. And then there's this resistor, which I think may be resisting to a Cards Against Humanity level. Let's just make that resist the normal amount. Alright, this looks sexy. We're just going to wait for it to cool off a little bit. And I'll read your comments while I wait for it to cool off. And Paul will put this back together and it'll work perfect. Oh, fuck off. Not another one of these. Really?
We have 2 more.
Seriously?
Yes.
And look, this doesn't... They're fucking with me on purpose. This doesn't even fit in our ultrasonic cleaner. Look at this. I gotta buy a new ultrasonic cleaner for this. Seriously.
And I haven't even opened this one yet.
What? No. No more touch bar. Stop with the touch bar.
This is the touch bar.
Stop with the touch bars. I hate those machines. Any ideas on where to start with the 2016 MacBook Air with a green light in the charger but no fan spin? Yes, with any one of the 300 videos I've done on how to diagnose no power. Yes. Next. We have them organized by playlist. If you click on the channel and then go to playlists, you'll see them all. Don't you have a small SMD resistor collection? Saves you the trouble of salvaging penny parts from donor boards. I do, but Paul sells me to them at really high markups, like $1 a resistor, which incentivizes me to use the donor boards. Sometimes he even wants $20 per resistor. B&K Precision, 39320. Let's check that out. You know that, yeah, as soon as I Google that, I get a generic products page. Yeah, we'll leave that for later. Let's see. What if I search for that number on their own website? Eh? Okay, either that product's really old or their website's even worse than mine. Because at least I got a working search feature. What the hell? You have gloves? We use bears for that shit and vodka for cleaning flux. You must be from Russia. Capitalistic coercion not required. For the O and B35, I'm doing it myself. Anyhow. Meter should arrive this week. If I'm lucky, Australian delivery network is every bit as bad as the US. You're using DHL, aren't you? Yeah. Does a 2010 MacBook Pro need to have the CPU and GPU regressed with thermal compound? I would say that they do need thermal compound. I'll make it, but if you read my comment, I mentioned the one caveat, current and resistance. I forget. What is an ultrasonic cleaner? An ultrasonic cleaner cleans the board and gets under everything. Think of it like the thing that your dentist cleans your stuff in. Cleans your teeth or tools in. All right, so this should be cool enough that I think it should work. So, you want to see if we get a screen?
Try it out.
All right, so let's see. What do you all think of my handiwork? I hope I'm correct there. With any luck, I'm correct. Can you replace the charge port on my iPhone 4? You can do that yourself, man. I know you can do that yourself. You don't need me for that. iPhone 4 is worthless. You can buy a 5S for like 80 on Craigslist now. Mood is correct, and hello to Mood. Send me that meter. That won't show up on screen. I'll fix it up. I'll send you my... I think it's just my machine, not the meter. Can't blame the meter. Let's see. We have silly questions. Next. What do you think of my desk? Isn't it beautiful? Don't I have a nice desk here? Let's start a betting on Lewis's repairs. I should show you the rest of the office, shouldn't I? Someone's name is Bird That Goes to War. Have you ever soldered a PS4 HDMI port? Not in my lifetime. The last PlayStation I soldered to was a PlayStation 1 in the late 90s. And look, the little thing is working. Where do you have the new Moto? I have this thing. I've been meaning to review it. Honestly, I have to get a SIM card for it and service, so I've been putting it off because standing in line at a store is boring, or ordering a SIM card online is going to be boring, and honestly, reviewing phones is kind of boring, but it's on the list. It's on the list. It's something I intend to get to eventually. It's just new floor first. Your desk has a bright future. Yep. Let's see. Can you see the rest? That cable is way too short. Yeah, I can't move that. All right, so you can't see Paul, I'm afraid. Let's see if this floor is as level as Sunny said it would be. There we go. Okay, so now the camera is supposedly level, but once the camera is level, you can tell how not level the TV and the table are. Look at the TV. I'll do you a custom multimeter low bandwidth scope for your streaming for $250 P&P. What's P&P? Also enjoy the £5 have a beverage. Oh, interesting. I will keep this in mind. If you ever review a phone, will you waterboard it like the Lenovo? No, I learned my lesson there. You ever get the shoddiest drip fixed? Shoddiest drip. Huh? Did you sand the bottom of the storage cupboard to match the level floor yet? No, I think we should. What do we do? Like shove something under it? Or? Let's use more hair gel. I don't use hair gel. See? Hair gel flakes. I was born Italian, so there's that. 50% Italian, which means 50% Greece in my case. Let's see. This is unfortunately quickly becoming a useless chat. Let's see. We must... Paul, you know the slower you assemble that, the more I have to read their chat, right?
It's coming on.
Backlight?
I don't know. I feel the CPU getting warm.
Wait, but did you open it?
No.
What? We're testing for backlight. Can we see if I have a screen? I don't give a shit about the CPU getting warm. I don't care. CPU can boil and burn. Do we get a picture? Oh. Oh, that's sad.
The CPU's getting really hot.
So the CPU is warm, but no screen.
Well, it takes a while for the question mark.
Oh yeah, the SSD is not plugged in, is it?
No.
Where's the... Yeah, put the heatsink on.
Put these in on.
Like,
Some paste.
yeah, get some paste and let's put the heatsink on and measure backlight output voltage in a minute. I'll never forget the shot of Lewis typing after waterboarding. Yeah. That Lenovo actually wound up dying. Well, not dying, but like randomly rebooting. And they legit fixed it for free in less than a day. I'm going to be doing a video about that shortly. Did you show off the bathroom door repair? I have. It's not my fault I'm useless. It's my government, says EDQQ. Oh, what are you blaming your government for? Hi. Yeah? You don't have to like screw it in. Let's just put it on top. Okay, I don't. I need some Jeopardy music here. The bent tips are for her pleasure, says Jim Boosh. That TV is really not level. That's kind of starting to, yeah. Look at it on the screen. Have you ever repaired a piece of vintage equipment? I fixed a Pultec equalizer. I think that's 1951 or so. That was fun. I've done a Yuri LA2A. I've done a Neve 2254. Bus modules of a Neve 8088 count, I believe. Have you ever tried putting a camera right up to a wireless charger?
No.
It's absolutely amazing what you see. Look at that. Jason, look what happens when you put a camera to a wireless charger.
What the hell? Why is that?
That's pretty cool. Let's see if I can zoom on that. Can I zoom on that? Face detection off.
This is why Samsung doesn't give you warranty.
Yeah, that's my phone right there. That's my phone with the camera on right next to a wireless charger. Okay. What the hell? Damn. All right, well, back to our regularly scheduled programming. So,
SSD's in.
okay, SSD is in. Let's measure voltage and output and see if I was correct or if I'm an idiot. Let's see if we get anything on backlight output. So, could be a bad screen or bad screen cable. You never know. Voltage.
I didn't plug the screen in
You didn't plug the screen in.
the second time.
You didn't plug the screen in.
Second time.
Jeez, what's next? You're going to not be able to find PP5E1 and rip up the trace in the board and then have to run wires? Wait, that was me. Were you watching that one?
I wasn't. Not at that point.
Joys of unplanned induction. Yeah. All right. You ready? This is so not video. This office is not made for this yet. There's still more work to be done. That's the ground side. The backlight side is here. 43 volts. Okay, that sucks. Oh, wait, whoa. Here we go. Check it out. Here, let's cover the name, because they're going to get trolled to hell. Look at that. We got a light. And a screen. Bam! Reverse engineering. So, that is how you figure out how a circuit works if you have an older circuit or a similar circuit and everything was purposely not labeled just to fuck with you. That's it for today, and as always, I hope that you learned something. That is cool. Fixed touch bar. We don't need schematics anymore. Okay, no, never mind. We do need schematics. Don't listen. It's one of those fun moments, man.
That was cool.
And that's cool.
That was really cool.
I like what first came up when you Google that chip number, though. What was it again? What was it? What was the number that I searched for?
That was a funky name. Good picture.
All I need now is a multimeter that shows up on screen. This is driving me nuts.
Which chip was it?
The one that has the flux all over it.
4AJYYU.
No, what was the next line? 41 something.
48B1.
48B1 dash what?
04.
Dash 04. Good night.
Good night.
And when you Google that, you get hanky-panky signature lace garter belt. Why do you think the resistor went bust? Well, that was water, so did you ultrasonic that already when we saw it?
Yes.
All right, so that was after ultrasonic, so most likely there was a liquid damage there that caused it.
It looked like, if you want to show this, it looked like this stuff before I ultrasonicked it.
Ah, so this is, yeah, I'll show you what it looked like before ultrasonicing on a board that has similar damage. So this is another touch bar piece of shit. And this one's going to be difficult because, as you can see, there's no chip around that area that's corroded. There's no marking. So there's no way to really tell what that area is for. You see, like, this is a chip. So I could at least, TPS 51980, right? So I could kind of figure out what's going on here even without a board view and a schematic. But this is a different board. I have no idea what's going on in that area. I would only hope and pray. I would pray for hope and change. The two things that a lot of people didn't get when they voted in 2008. All right. Why do you think? Let's see. Hope and change. Hope and change. Any good place to learn to read schematics that you know of? I don't know. I have a basic electronics playlist, but if you really want to learn, go to Steel Wheels Down, has a good YouTube channel. Steel Wheels Down. Afrotech Mods has a good YouTube channel. I would definitely check out Afrotech Mods. I don't know, maybe EV Blog? Is the EV Blog good for learning how to read schematics? I honestly only watch Dave when he's bashing a piece of hardware that's a piece of crap.
He's good
But I
for
haven't.
once you already know.
Yeah, so I guess he's good for once you already know.
He's more advanced.
Yeah, so maybe not Dave. No offense to Dave. You should watch him insult bad hardware, though. It's one of a kind. But I would say maybe Afrotech Mods and Steel Wheels Down.
Electronics for Dummies.
Or Electronics for Dummies.
Excellent book.
By the way, PNP means post and packaging. If you want, let me know what you'd want it to do. Ideally, AFA output format to get it in the stream. I need either a program that I can capture with OBS, ideally an OBS plugin, but that's asking too much. Like just a program that I can just use OBS to capture, so that I can see voltage, amperage, resistance, diode mode, all that good jazz. All that good jazz.
Basically the same thing you have, only it works.
Oh yeah, basically the same thing that I have, only that it works. So what Paul just said. What Paul said, essentially. Let's see that I'm... Mr. Carlson's lab is also pretty good. Old-timey equipment, so easy for a beginner to understand. Yeah, definitely check out his channel. I don't know why I forgot that one. Mr. Carlson's lab is a really good electronics channel. He also has a really cool-looking room. I get jealous when I look at that room. All right, so I'm not sure why I'm still... Oh, I'm waiting for my accountant. Yeah. So, well, I'm done. See you later. Thanks for watching.